for some of us who, this is what we've done for the period of time that we have, your finances is something you're always alive to, and it's as much part of you as the creative work itself, in the sense that it's very rare to meet an artist who's not thinking about money every day. It's very rare that as they navigate their art or whatever it is they do, they are constantly worrying about this, worrying about that. And also it's because a lot of us do not approach craft as, sometimes I call it, we are prisoners of our passion. In that sometimes what you're doing is not making financial sense, but it is fulfilling a majority of your desires. That you like it for what it gives you in terms of how you feel about it. Sometimes we talk about the standing ovations after you've done a show, all the reactions on social media after you've put up something and everyone is talking about it, and you're having that high, yeah, and then immediately after you need to go home. Then you realize going home, you have to use a car, you have to go to a house, you have to eat when you get to that house, you have to, and that's where the finances come in. So that's why my personal experience has been, you have to get to a place where once you recognize that this is also your source of income, then you have to think about it like any other source of income. How do you plan around your finances? How do you how do you live according to your finances? Because one of the unluckiest things we as artists have is your lifestyle is directly intertwined with your income, in the sense that, in some sense, you believe you believe that if you live in a certain way, then it helps in the general branding, that then eventually you come out as you attract more in terms of finances and things like that. So that's why you find artists buying cars they can't afford, living in estates they can barely afford, eating in places they can barely afford. And I'm talking about artists just because that's what I know. And eventually what that leads to is you're always under constraint. Regardless of how highly you think of an artist in this country, ask them. They will tell you, mimi ni nani lakini ninakosanga 300 shillings. You ask them to give you 500 bob. They will tell you, I do not have. They are not lying, they are factual. They do not have 200 shillings at that point. Because also the pain of freelancing is that today you have 10 million shillings, and now the 10 million shillings needs to survive you for 3 years, and you are living like a person who earns 10 million shillings every month. So that eventually, after the first, second, third month, people still look at you and they're like, but you earned 10 million shillings. What do you mean? Why don't you have money? You earned 10 million. They look at you like it's not reducing. That 10 million is constant. And even you in your expenditure, if you're not careful, that happens as well. So the eventual solution to this is, just like every other Kenyan or every other human being plans for their finances, even in the creative space, with the challenges of inconsistency in income and lifestyle and whatnot, you still have to find a way to be able to plan for your bad days.
So